One of the major themes of Pope Francis' pontificate is to help the poor and less fortunate, which is the goal of the Catholic Campaign for Human Development. This campaign offers a hand up rather than a handout to the needy, which is in direct service meant to help those in need live independently. Next weekend, Catholics across our region will be asked to support this worthy cause. Reporter Julie Bollier tells us how this money is being used locally in our diocese.
For over 40 years now, community organizations supported by the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, or CCHD, have brought joy and hope of the gospel to those lost on the margins of society. Jane Virgilio, president of Pioneer Valley Project, or PVP, explains this year's theme, CCHD, Working on the Margins.
The issues that are worked on as part of Pioneer Valley Project are issues that concern people who are on the margins, usually, not always, but people who are poor, people who, immigrants, and obstacles that they face, severe obstacles that they face. A good example of one, especially for folks who speak different languages, is a service that was put in place for 911 calls, emergency calls, and they have a language service that is going to allow those people who have emergency situations to actually be able to get through, be understood, and be helped. That wasn't in place before. And that is something that Pioneer Valley Project sponsored and helped to make happen.
While most charities give a handout, like a free meal or a free coat, CCHD gives a hand up in helping others to become self-sufficient. Catherine Buckley-Bronner, Director of CCHD and Catholic Charities for the Diocese of Springfield, explains what giving a hand up really means.
Catholic Campaign for Human Development has been around since the 1970s. It was a project first devised by the Catholic bishops to address more than direct assistance to folks, really trying to address some of the root causes of poverty, try to get down to the systemic levels of poverty. Look at communities and community-based alternatives to actually finding ways to help themselves, come together as communities that share the same problems and issues, try to find resolution and solution at the community level, and empower people's voices to be heard in local government and national government to make those kinds of systemic changes that would really have an impact on the poor.
Board members Bob Tyre and Deacon Bill Toller talk about how this is being done through PVP.
We're looking at three very, very important issues here in Springfield: education, housing, and public safety. And the Pioneer Valley Project is coordinating that effort, encouraging that effort, getting members involved, and looking to identify, I think particularly what CCHD funds are programs that help the poor get out of being poor and out of poverty.
It was brought to my attention that PVP was working to save the libraries in Springfield, and I felt the need to be a part of keeping the library, especially the one on Island Pond Road, which was East Forest Park branch. And that was the first part of PVP that I was involved in. And we did a little protesting and talked to city officials and so on, and we were able to save the East Forest Park branch.
Bob added that libraries and their accessibility are vital to both children and adult learners who may not have access to internet, books, newspapers, or even have access to transportation to get them to the main library downtown. Sister Natalie Kane is working with a project similar to PVP developing out in Berkshire County, where the need is just as great.
The transportation group, one of the things that they found out is that the taxes that go for transportation to the state, most of the money from those taxes stays down in the Boston area. And yes, there's more of a population in that Boston area, but there's also a need in our area for people to get to work, for people to get to jobs and so forth. There's money that comes from the Berkshires because also, you have Tanglewood, you have all kinds of people come and shop, and all of the taxes and things that would go toward transportation. The money is coming from that area, but it's not coming back to meet the needs of those people.
Both PVP and BOP are interfaith. Catholics are not only encouraged to donate, but also to join and volunteer. Go to your local parish for more information. And remember to donate to the Catholic Campaign for Human Development.
We have a lot of second collections, a lot of national and international second collections in our parishes. Pope Francis calls this to be a church of the poor. And this is a way of really getting involved, and I just would encourage people to think about the level of contribution they make, and perhaps maybe this year they can, in the spirit of Pope Francis, can hopefully put a little more in the envelope. That's what I would love to see.
For more information on the Catholic Campaign for Human Development, go to usccb.org and click on CCHD, or go to our website, iobserve.org, for more on this story. For Real to Real, this is Julie Beaulieu.